are we just cynical and we just don't think someone can be happy, happy, love, love? Or we're just like, you're 50 now. Aren't you over that? Hey guys, welcome to Overanalyze with Dom and Kyla.
Well, hello everybody.
I'm Skinny Neck.
I'm not.
If you're watching on YouTube, this turtleneck is giving lengthy neck, skinny.
I also love burgundy on you. It's a great color. It makes you look very dignified.
Thank
it's a very
you.
dignified color when you really think of it. It's very royal.
I'm giving Michelle Obama.
I wish I could. There's too many reasons why I'll never be like her.
You know, I ordered...
Did you listen to what she said recently?
About braids on Oprah?
No, about female presidents. She's like...
Yeah, you guys aren't ready.
What do you agree?
I believe it. Women are...
I agree with her.
Women can be very determined and run a good routine.
I read in between the lines of things. And you know, I was listening to her words and I walked away like, I was like, okay, I hear that. But then there's a part of me that thinks, wait, does that mean she was thinking about it?
Oh.
But the way she worded it was like, because she said, y'all ain't ready. And I'm like, do you mean like there was a part of you that was like, like maybe I should?
I missed that, but yeah, I could see
that.
This
is overanalyzed. I overanalyzed her words. And I'm like, does that mean?
Well, there's another clip where she's talking about, she's like, all these white women are asking me, what's with the braids? What's with the braids? And she's like, here's the thing. It's nothing with the braids. I just don't want to do my hair for a couple weeks. And people don't understand that. Like, you still clean the parts. There's like scalp cleaner that you use and stuff. But you do get 3 to 4 weeks of just relaxing and I just pull my hair up in a bun.
Also, white women, enough.
No, because honestly, in this episode, when they do the bedhead, you can see the tracks on the ladies. White women wear extensions. I don't know why they make braids to be a big deal. It's just an extension.
PSA to white women, stop talking about black women's hair.
That part.
Please correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
It's not a, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not a commodity. Like, stop it. Exactly. I'm like, enough of this. Like, I can't stand that shit. So enough.
Honestly.
But,
okay.
You know, here we are. But yeah, we love dignified women, like the women of Salt Lake City. Some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
You're thinking.
Well, okay. This episode 10 was very enlightening.
Well, I'm going to tell you something because we're coming off of BravoCon. And I just want to start this off because we know this episode of Salt Lake City started off really with a celebratory party for Britney. And I have to tell you something. Last week's episode we recapped together. That was very Britney-centric coming off that airplane ride. And I was on this, like, I think of becoming a Britney fan. And I would like to say here right now, I'm a huge Britani Bateman fan. Mostly because I've watched her at BravoCon. And I'm going to tell you something, because I know that we talked about the thing, her motherhood and children. She brought her daughter to BravoCon with her. And I was listening to her on one of my favorite podcasts, 2 T's in a Pod. That's with Tamara Judge, who's on Real Housewives of Orange County, and Teddy Mellencamp, who used to be on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And so they did all these like mini episodes while they're at BravoCon, and they did an interview with Britney. And she was so incredibly likable. Yeah. And cool. Like, I really liked her energy, and I don't fully know if some of the things that she's doing on Salt Lake City is a gimmick. However, I'm like, I think a lot of this is who she is, this like Disney princess-esque attitude. She maintained that. She knew she's doing a cabaret show in New York City at 54 Below, which is a pretty like... Yeah,
a big deal.
I'm a Britani Bateman fan.
So if it's not a gimmick, how would you feel if she really is this ditzy princess and that's how she lives her life? If this is really authentic to her, would you be her friend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, you know, now that I feel like we're starting to get to really understand her, and I feel like the more she does, she was on Vile Files, though I haven't listened to that interview. And at this point, I don't know if I will, just because it's so far behind. Like, it was like several weeks ago. And maybe I will, because I think you can learn a lot about people.
To overanalyze, Dom wants to hear his media news now.
I do.
3 weeks old.
Listen,
old news.
It really is. I'm like, over it, done that. I already know what's going on.
I'm like, people don't listen to podcasts sequentially, but he does.
I do. I know several others that do. Thank you. If it's a recap, I do. If it's something that's like a general, like whatever, then that's different.
Speaking of BravoCon, which was in November 2025, Bronwyn won Most Fashionable Housewife.
She was wearing Christian Siriano, who she has a very good relationship with him.
And then Angie and Mary won 2 awards.
2 awards.
Best Friendship and then Best Argument Over Nothing.
Over Nothing for the fart. And I was not at BravoCon. So I was like fixated on all Bravo content creators. One of the many themes I heard was she got so much love.
Oh, she looked really good.
Lots of standing ovations for Mary Cosby.
Now, is her name Rosemary?
Grandmother's name was Rosemary because that was her grandmother's church. Started that church. So
I was waiting for a flashback because she's like, I haven't been in here in 2 years. It looks so good. And I was like, show me what it used to look like.
Watching this episode, and I could be wrong because now we're 6 seasons in. I could be wrong, but I feel like the last time we actually saw Mary preach was season 1.
Oh, wow.
I don't remember in season 2 if she did or not. I can't remember. She might have, so I don't quote me on that. So it was really, I mean, I'm not a religious person, but I don't mean something to her. So it was really cool to see her in this episode in that element again. I loved her dress, by the way.
Yeah, she looked stunning. She looked absolutely stunning. All right.
Okay, let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
So we started off, I thought this was really cute and funny. Whitney threw Britani a party, a high body count hair party.
So wait a second.
Surprise party. I love that.
We were literally just talking about that the other day because you said high body count hair, and I was like bedhead, like when your hair kind of sticks up on the side.
Like
so I've missed that. So yeah, I guess.
So that was from last season.
Like you were on your back.
So Angie, our Queen Angie, her and Britney have not had a great relationship, and I feel like just now we're seeing them kind of make a path forward. But one of the iconic fights, and they showed it at BravoCon, and Angie was nominated at the Bravos for I forgot what the category was called. It was like one-liner type thing. And it was the whole argument that she had with Angie. She's like, you look like you have high body count hair. You're wearing a high body count dress. Like there was like episodes I want you to watch. I was like, okay, just watch this one, this one, this one. That fight was so hilarious. I mean, Angie actually gets kicked out. It was Meredith's party because she was having her bat mitzvah. And Angie got kicked out by Meredith. But that's where that came from.
Oh, wow.
So it's become like a thing in Bravo universe of like just iconic lines, the high body count hair thing.
It's a good description. I thought it was so funny that they're like, let's throw a surprise party for Britney, and everyone comes in a tracksuit. I was like, oh, okay, they're showing how much they care. They're like, oh, it's just Britney.
Because you know what? I'm going to make also a prediction here. So I loved the whole party. And it was really cute that they rallied around her because she's never had that.
That island in Whitney's house was like...
I like Whitney's house. I like her aesthetic.
It was like a 12-foot island. Yeah. I was just like, oh my goodness.
Out of all the ladies, I like her home the most. It's like that modern farmhouse chic type thing. I love her house. I love that they rally behind her.
I like the teddy bears. I thought that was really cute.
It was a cute, like, you know,
like
play
that
off
Mary
of...
did not participate.
So here's my prediction. I'm glad you said that. I think while Mary still stands, even after BravoCon, mark my words, I feel like there's going to be a Mary-Britney friendship at some point. I don't know if it's this season.
Yeah.
I could see it because, you know, her and Angie were not friends.
I think that would be really beneficial to Britney because I think she kind of needs some of the chutzpah, some of the backbone that Mary has.
That's a great word. But fun fact, that friendship award that Angie and Mary won up during BravoCon, I thought about it, and Angie referenced it, which is so funny. So when Mary came back to Housewives, she came back as a friend of.
So she did season 1 and 2.
1 and 2. Left. She didn't even show up to the reunion.
Oh, wow.
Was gone. Came back as a friend of. That's when Angie was full-time.
Okay.
Yeah, that was her first full-time season. And she was really like Lisa's friend. And there was a trip that they all went to Palm Springs. Angie wasn't invited, but they brought her along. And so Mary is there, and you see this scene. It's so funny to me. So they're all by the pool just eating, and it's kind of silent. There's nothing, like no music playing in the background. And Angie's like, Mary, come sit over here. And she's like, don't talk to me like that. She's like, who's Angie? And it's so fun. And now look.
Like, I don't even see you.
You know, very Mary, like, she's like, who's Angie? She's like, don't talk to me like that. And Angie referenced it in their speech. She's like, from who's Angie? And now here we are. I love this kind of shit. And so I love that. So I think there's hope.
So I was really upset when Mary said, oh, well, I didn't leave her a message because we still are not close. And then they showed the clip of Britney saying to her, you are the least Christ-like person I've ever met.
I know. And so that scene didn't show.
I was like, how much stuff do they have that they don't show?
You know how to be ton.
It's so unfair because then you're like, whatever you feel about these ladies is only what they're showing you.
Oh, totally.
And I guess that's why I will have to watch the reunion to kind of see where they're like, they didn't show this or they didn't show that.
There's no question you will be. And I think actually it'll be fun to watch it together.
Yeah.
Because the reunion, and I will watch it on Peacock because when it's on Peacock the next day, it's unedited.
So you guys.
You can hear him swear and everything.
I have a prediction.
Oh.
I don't.
Oh.
We're going to record ourselves watching it. So you guys can get that out unedited. And then we'll do an episode kind of.
Oh my God, that's a great idea.
Because I think it'll be funny because, like, do you talk through TV? I talk the whole time.
I know, I can tell you're that type. I'm not. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
What is she wearing? Oh my gosh. Oh my God, he came.
But I'm on my phone a lot.
Can I get some more popcorn? So I think we will be really funny. Okay.
I love that.
All right. So it starts with Whitney's house. They're on the tracks. I thought when Britney teared up and she was like, I always wanted it to be about me, and it's about me.
Okay.
I was like, oh my God, it's so
I know,
cute.
it was cute, but you know what? It goes back to the thing we were talking about last week where I said, I think this chick just has a lot of trauma and PTSD with, like, and I don't know, and hopefully if she becomes a full-time housewife, I think we'll learn a lot more about her life in that way, or at least about her past. But I feel like that kind of goes in that theme of, like, she just wants to be liked and loved and, like, accepted. And when she was, like, berated, like, on the show a little bit, especially by, like, Meredith and this whole plane ride, which, by the way, I've asked a lot of people their thoughts on this, and collectively, I've yet to meet someone that was like, that didn't happen. Everyone believes it did happen the way that they are describing.
Yeah.
And she wants acceptance and feel like I'm one of the group.
So when we discussed episode 9, you and I talked about how it must be trauma. And I was so upset that she was crying about being bullied on the plane. And you were like, maybe she cried a lot of the other times when they were being mean to her too. And we just didn't see it. A hot take.
Okay.
Are we just cynical and we just don't think someone can be happy, love? Or we're just like, you're 50 now. Aren't you over that?
Have you ever met anyone like that? Because I
don't know, because I'm incredibly optimistic and I'm still not.
But you're
realistic. Almost naive. She's so, like,
have I met somebody like
Disney princessy? I have, but they weren't over the age of 12.
Sure
her optimism is so, like, bubbly joy.
I know I've met random people throughout my whole life. I know I have, because there's somebody that is coming to my mind. I can't remember their name or even what they look like. But I remember after speaking to them, I'm like, no one's that happy.
I was going to say, do you think they're like, they just haven't lived or they've been sheltered?
Well, how you set this up, are we cynical? Yes, I think we are. I definitely am.
We're just observant.
I actually do know somebody who was like this, now that I'm thinking about it. Not the same person, but one of the things that they told me was they've never been depressed. I was like, what do you mean? Like, and that doesn't mean you suffer from depression.
Yeah.
Like, I have been diagnosed with clinical depression, but you don't have to have depressive episode. You know what I mean? She's like, no. And
so
I'm like,
Charlotte York. I'm not happy all day, every day, but every day. You're just like,
but even then, it's like,
okay. She said there were times,
when you go through shit in life, I think there is this part of this chapter that I'm in right now. I'm optimistic by default because I now feel like I have to be optimistic in order to know that we collectively, we are going to get through these dark times. Like, if I don't think that way, then I don't, like, what's the fucking point?
Yeah.
But, like, so I have, and I'm like, so I think when you go through shit in life, like, I don't know how you cannot see a realistic view lens. You can still be an eternal optimist as Charlotte York, but you can still think, like, well, bad shit does happen. So Britney cries. You see that in this episode. So she knows.
She chooses to be optimistic and happy and giddy.
So I wonder, maybe that's the angle to people that like that. Is it a choice that you like, well, you know, and maybe in my private times when I'm by myself, that's when I break down. But
well, like, life has had shitty moments for me, but also I'm a trained lawyer, and that is very dog eat dog, cut the other person out from under you. Okay, we're on the opposite sides, but we're not adversaries, but we actually are adversaries. And so I've always expected, like, protect yourself because someone else is coming to take.
Yeah.
And so I'm teaching myself to be like, expect good things and see how that feels.
Yeah.
And for a while it felt really, like, disingenuous and like you're just faking. But then I'm kind of like, well, no, I mean, I expect to have a great parking spot, and then it kind of works. But I'm still not like Britney. She is like joy in your heart.
Now let me ask you this, somewhat, I guess, devil's advocate. So are you saying the opposite could be people that are like that? Do you have this, like, somehow live life with rose-colored glasses on and they don't understand, like, because there's a part of me that wonders, like, how is that even possible? Like, you don't see, like,
especially given
poverty, like homeless people, like something as simple as, like, is right in your face. Like, I wonder, like,
so people have been reclaiming the word delusional, and I think she might be delusional. For you to have strong disagreements with your daughter, for you to not know where you stand with an ex-fiance on again, off again, for you to be around these women who maybe don't care for you, but kind of care for you, but in their own way, and to still be like that, she probably has some, like, delusional joy. And if it gets her through, if it gets her a cabaret show in New York, go for it. Now that we're saying this, you did just say, but she cries and she was bullied and she was this. She's multifaceted. And maybe the editors were showing us more of her giddy side. And now we're seeing a little bit more of, oh, you have an actual job? Wait, you're a real estate agent? Wait, you're this?
You have talent.
So maybe all of our impressions are just based on the producers and the editors.
Yeah. And then they shoot hours upon hours of footage that they have to go down into 45-minute episodes. Because
even with the title of this episode, the bigger the hair, closer to God, and it all had a little God relationship topic in it. Yeah. So
I think there's a lot more depth.
Shame on you, editors.
Well, I hope now / believe I would not be surprised if she comes back next season full time, and that will allow us to see many more layers of her. Because now, with these kind of, they are not the focal point of the show.
I think they are. I don't think I see that much about Angie.
Well, I think, and so here's I'll give you an example. So on the Real Housewives of Miami, they have 3 friends of, but they sit for the whole reunion. They're treated as if they're housewives, which I'm like, well, then just make them housewives.
But Brittany's going to be at the reunion. That'd be weird if she wasn't.
But usually friends of come in different segments. They don't stay for the full thing. I wouldn't be surprised at the time of the reunion she sits for the whole thing. Friends of typically don't.
So question as a newbie to the Housewives world. I just said I don't see too much of Angie. So I'm not... Is that because every character kind of has their own season, and this season is more of a Bronwyn, Brittany?
Yes, to some extent. I mean, wherever this storyline, and Housewives usually don't like that word. They're like, I don't have a storyline, it's just my life.
But the editors,
but you know what I mean, like whatever. So clearly, so one of the things when it comes to the reunion, Bravo fans can't wait for the seating chart, like who's sitting where, because that tells you everything you need to know. And
they tell you where to sit.
They tell you where to sit. So Housewives to this day, and all franchises still say like they don't know we're going to sit till day of.
Wow.
And so typically how it is, it's like the closer you are to Andy, the more drama you've been into. So who's ever has the first seat, so on either side, so usually have women on both sides of him, he's in the middle. If you're in the first seat, that means you are the focal point of the majority of the season. And whoever you're sitting across from that's also first seat is your adversary, so to speak.
It's got to be either Bronwyn or Brittany.
I definitely think it's Lisa's going to be one of them. What Friends of are never going to be.
Get a lot. Okay.
Friends of will never be first seat. It's just because of their by role. And so
there's a whole science to it.
Oh, yeah. And so Bravo fans can't wait for the seating charts.
Okay.
So
and the outfits. They just tell them what color to choose.
So there's like a theme.
Okay.
Like Orange County is always way more a casual-esque vibe. Whereas
Atlanta gets high fashion.
Atlanta has high fashion. New York certainly turned into way more like glamorous. Miami is very like Miami glamorous, chic, sassy. New Jersey, they were more casual and they kind of flowed into more like gowns, that kind of thing. And then Beverly Hills, come on, that is fashion.
Yeah.
So it'll be exciting and so like maybe like in a few episodes when it gets closer to what we think is the season finale, we can like we'll guess who's going to be where.
Yeah.
Because as of right now, I don't know who's going to be. I do believe Lisa will have first seat. I don't know who's going to be on the side of her. I think my guess is probably going to be Bronwyn. Because she's had her hand in a few buckets. It makes the most sense. Last year was Angie. This year, I don't think it's going to be. I think Angie might have second seat.
Okay.
Because then you also have to think about like, who's going to sit on who's the. They say it's not teams, but listen, you're not going to have 2 people sit next to each other that are not like friends, but sometimes they give us curveballs. So who's going to be on which couch or whatever.
I hope no one's sitting behind Brittany. I hope she's in the back so that she can't have people bullying her like they did on the plane.
I don't think so.
Saying petty shit. And so then the spouses come out or boyfriends
typically,
spontaneously.
Yeah, not every series does that or every franchise does that. This one, I feel like husbands usually come out. But there's really not men. Well,
but they've talked to a lot of the husbands. We've seen a lot of John. We've seen a lot of Todd.
Yeah, Todd came on last year. He did come on. We could flip a coin, I guess, at some point. Just like I don't know if he'll show up. I'm sure they're going to ask him whether he shows up or not. Part of me is like I can't imagine him wanting to, but then part of me feel like there's going to be pressure for him to kind of.
Yeah.
But he also did that. He came on last year to really kind of clear his name, so to speak. Of like I do love Bronwyn.
So I'm thinking about the fact that BravoCon just ended.
Yeah.
And
he was not there.
Their life has been filmed, and you said that they're editing it right now, and they're filming their little one-offs right now.
Yeah, they haven't filmed the reunion yet, but they will be soon.
But even though they remember going to church with Mary, they still don't know how it will be edited and displayed. I think that part is fascinating. So even though they lived through it, they could still be watching it with fresh eyes. Like, let me see.
Because now that it's out.
Yeah.
So by the time they're used to, I don't know how it works now. So they do get screeners, so that's like a preview. So you basically get the episode before everybody.
But you don't get to ask them to change it.
Oh no, yeah, that's like the final edit. they don't have any like ability to be like, don't put this in there at all. But this is definitely that you get the screener, which is this is going to be the episode that's going to be displayed or shown. So once they film the reunion, you're correct. Then they'll get whatever the remaining episodes are of like, okay, well here they are now.
Oh wow, I love it.
You kind of gauge when they're going to film the reunion because he puts out a thing on all the social channels of like, give me your questions that it's usually like, we're getting ready to film the Real House of Salt Lake City reunion. What are your questions that you want most asked? Because they're a combination of their question, his, and like so-and-so from Columbus, Ohio asked like, why, like Bronwyn, why? So when you know that, that's how you know the reunion's coming up soon.
That's okay. So I'm kind of excited for it.
The reunions are the best part.
I've watched all 15 seasons of Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I've never watched a reunion.
That's
We
criminal.
were talking about the party, and so they have the teddy bears, and then Mary and the high body count hair, and so after that, where do we go? Do we go to Bronwyn? Do we go to Lisa?
I believe it's Bronwyn, right? Her and Todd's conversation.
Okay.
Which
can you cry in Gucci?
And I don't know if he was trying to be. He was like, well, it's fabric. Yeah. I'm really over Todd.
All of their conversations make me so uncomfortable.
Me too.
Because in episode 9, it's on Twitter that Todd is on a plane and he's looking at other women.
Yeah.
And we don't know to what extent. Is he zooming in? Is it a dating
Is there
app?
actual conversations?
Is he talking about see you at the apartment?
Yeah.
We don't have context.
She saw it. She does bring this up at the high body count hair party.
She does, because her ring wasn't
That's
on.
right, yes. Because up until that point, she only has talked about it with Whitney. And now she's telling all the girls, which that was nice to see because they were all like, oh.
It was a nice introduction. And that was, honestly, Brittany, that was how you should have done it. Right? Because first
she
of all,
she's like, oh my God.
But first that meant that they had already talked about it. And so she's saying, so even if you want to be like, wait, how does she know? That's not even the point.
Yeah.
If you're not close enough to Meredith to say, people are talking about your husband being out doing things. Don't do it.
Something funny about that side note for real quick. And so in that same interview that I listened to with Brittany, they asked her like, okay, Brittany girl. They're like, well, now that we're getting to know you, that doesn't seem like a natural thing that you would do. Just bring up that video, like conversation. She's like, oh no, I would have. I'm like, okay, but like,
not a princess. Maybe
that's what I mean. I think there is a feisty side to her that we will only see, I think, fully until she's a full-time housewife. If that happens, so I'm just saying. So I think there's
honestly
many layers to Brittany.
Her wardrobe doesn't help because I'm thinking of the last clip and it's her and Jared walking, and I'm just like, what is this Pollyanna dress?
It was very Mormon.
But also, can you tell we're getting to like springtime in Salt Lake City because they're all wearing like less clothes and less layers. And
we'll have to do a Salt Lake City trip and go like all the places.
We've talked about this.
Well, I really want to go. So okay. Anyways,
I'm not interested in the avalanche.
We'll go in this summer.
To asking someone to not stay for a couple of days and taking off your ring.
Ballsy.
Now, don't get me wrong. I can take this off, and that doesn't mean that I'm going to act like I'm a single person. So it's a big deal. You're making a statement to your children.
That kind of went over my head a little bit.
You are taking off your ring.
That kind of went over my head a little bit. You're totally right, because it's one thing to be like, okay, you know, I'm mad at you. You would stay at a hotel for a couple days. It's another part like, okay, and you take off your wedding ring?
Because look, I take it off right now. The indention is there.
Yeah.
There's
I was going to ask you about
No, I haven't. But also,
I was like, I know your husband apparently listens.
It doesn't really matter because I work from home. That's a statement. Right? My husband has multiple rings, and sometimes he doesn't wear his, but I don't think he's out.
But to have a fight
as a single person
with your husband, especially about like,
no, she's trying to get comfortable with not having it on.
I think that's what it is.
Because even when Brittany says, "Hey,
I really think
they're
going to get divorced at some point," I really do.
And I don't want that for you. She has a honker of a ring too. I'm not that girl. I wanted a tiny little thing. I wanted him to pay cash. He showed me the receipt afterwards. That's how I was like, appreciate you, because I don't want to get married and now we're both paying off my ring.
That's kind of weird.
Yes. And thankfully he took it as not being controlling. I just was like, I don't want to get into debt because I'm not a jewelry person. No, I just don't. I'm not flashy like that. I was engaged in law school. I used to turn my ring around or take it off to go to the grocery store because I didn't like the attention.
Really? You know, I appreciate that. But at the same time, I've never walked up to the grocery store. Oh my God.
No, it was a honker. It was like 2 carats and emerald cut. It was a big ass ring.
My aunt has a huge ring.
It wasn't my style.
They got money.
But I'm on an air mattress in law school.
And you just
can we get rid of this ring and get a nice apartment?
I was gonna say, pawn this off and get a new car or something.
Our priorities are wrong. But all that said,
that's very caring.
I thought it was cute when Brittany asked her, like, "Can I have one of your rings?"
I know. That's what I mean. I'm like,
first of all, how many bands do you have? My godmom has like 8 wedding bands. Like when they have an anniversary, he gets her a new one.
My mom,
but not just the band that goes with the like a whole set.
It's like a whole.
But thing. she's a jewelry girl.
My mom is not. My mom's still a tomboy too. So her wedding ring, it's the same one. Oh no, I can't remember.
For almost 40 years.
It's a very small diamond.
Yeah.
When you say that, she would relate to you because she genuinely does not care. She's like, we can go on. I'd rather go on trips. And her other ring, I think I talked about it, is this me and my brother's birthstone. Yeah. That's it.
I mean, I'm expensive, but I'm expensive with food.
Well, that's okay. She's like, we could be spending our money on other shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Not the ring. Yeah.
But I did think it was cute. And that's also promising because I'm like, okay, friendship blooming maybe.
I know. I thought it was cute that they sat beside each other.
I think now I'm on this whole thing. I'm like, how can we get Britney friends with everybody?
That I know there is a lot we do not see.
Totally.
Because I did not understand why Bronwyn was there. So Lisa and Meredith were not at Whitney's for this party. And I was like, why is Bronwyn here? But then Bronwyn says, I felt so bad thinking I might have kicked off this whole airplane thing because we tossed the unicorn. And I was like, thank you guys for making it make sense.
I would see Bronwyn there more than Mary. That's why I was like, wow, Mary's there.
I know. But, you know, she didn't have to come. So the fact that she
she had a similar tone. She's like, she felt bad because she's like, well, like, we're not friends, but no one should go through that experience.
I'll tell you this. If we find out in the reunion that some of them were awake and recorded it, I don't think I'll be able to watch season 7. Because that is so unfair. Don't be an advocate after the abuse is done.
So to give you some more context, they asked Britney about that. Like, no one filmed it? Nobody. One thing she said was, I definitely didn't. Because they asked her, she's like, no, I wasn't crying. I was trying everything in me. She's like, I was so defeated that she did have headphones on. She said she was watching Crazy Rich Asians on the plane. And she was saying, I was trying to ignore it and make it go away because I just wanted to. I'm paraphrasing. She basically wanted to exist on the plane. So that's why she didn't speak for anybody else. And it just sounded like everyone was self-consumed to some point. If they say they didn't record it, I hope that is true. I do hope there's footage that they obtained from like a passenger or something. Yeah. Because that's different.
But you know what? That's not fair of me to say. Because they showed us the clips of Whitney and Angie texting, like, what the heck is going on? So they knew it was happening. Andy, I hope he dives into, so why didn't you say? Why did you just feel like she could handle it? Like, I'm going to need to know. Because here's my thing. Well, I'm overanalyzing. Don't let me get bullied like that. And you're there. That part, it hurt my feelings. I was like, man, no one is going to stand up for
her. I guess that is, when you really think about it, is a weird situation. Because on one hand, like a normal person, if I go on a trip with like a group of my friends and 2 of them are like fighting and maybe it's escalated more than a normal tone. Yeah. I'll tell you, none of us are filming it. Like, okay, hold on. Granted, we're not reality stars. Second of all, I do think there's a decency of like, okay, cameras are down. I don't think it's a responsibility of anyone, of the cast specifically. Producers, that's where I want to know, like, if producer really was on that plane, unless they were somewhere not in earshot, like in coach or something, because that tells me all I need to know about these girls. If either someone filmed and has not told anybody, that's shitty as fuck. I don't know if I'd want them to film, even though selfishly, because I want to see it. But I'm like, so instead of intervening, you thought to film. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's different like angles here. I guess
there are, because even I'm contradicting myself again because they let the Lisa Heather fight on the boat go further than I would have liked because they let Lisa touch her face multiple times without intervening. Yeah. So they know more than we know.
Yeah, that's true.
Because clearly they're like, maybe she's all talk and she won't escalate it or something.
I think it comes from really the fan in us. Like, we just want to see what happened because that would make a good TV.
Because I'm like, it couldn't have been that bad if no one stepped in, but also
I'm trying to remember. So Britney did speak about that of like, well, if it was really bad, why didn't she that's what she said. Well, what you don't know, she's like, it was an international flight. And she said, while she was talking to Lisa louder than a whisper, she's like, the last 15-20 minutes of the overall flight. So at that point,
it's getting louder. People are waking up.
That and like there is during descent, like it's a long descent. You're in what's probably the Utah bordering area airspace where it's like, well, we're gonna go to the airport.
I feel bad for Meredith because she was that upset for that whole flight.
Oh, I don't feel bad.
Poor her. No, but I mean, like when someone is like,
you mean like
mean and bitchy like that, like that's all on her.
It says everything about her. Then
I hope she gave it to her husband. I hope she was like, what the fuck is this?
I have a new prediction though. I remember I said last week about who would be returning, who's not. After this episode, I can, I'll save it for the end.
You don't think Meredith's coming back? her son is on Next Generation NYC, and that got some awards.
Wow, you gave its government name? Next Gen New York City. That was
like,
so funny.
I'm not from New York, so I don't like to say NYC. My husband says ATL.
No one.
I'm like, no one.
You know, that's funny. Yeah, no one in New York City says NYC, but people in Atlanta do say the ATL. That's like the thing, right?
That's the airport code. You've never heard me say C-Bus. I'd be like, what the fuck
I
is
say
that?
Columbia. I don't really say nicknames, but I can tell you what.
Well, then don't tease me.
Yeah, well, that's the name of the show. But I can tell you, New Yorkers don't say, "Yeah, I live in NYC." Yeah,
I know.
But for the show, you can't say Next Gen.
Well, I've never watched it, so I'm just.
That's good.
My mind just flashed to what the name of it was.
And they are doing something. They're doing Next Gen LA.
Oh, cute.
So that'd be cool. I do like the show in general.
You never watched Entourage. When you said LA, it made me think of that. No, we might need to watch a season. Okay.
We have so many things to watch.
I know.
Okay. Anyway,
all right,
so let's talk about Bronwyn and Todd, because we were both uncomfortable. Yes, but that's a theme. I was uncomfortable
finding out that he had been unfaithful before, and it was an infidelity that hurt her.
That came up last season. Yes.
She wants
to be loved too.
I was gonna say she wants to be with him. I think she wants to be respected, and I don't know if Todd can give her that. And I feel like she almost had a little bit more strength when she was telling the girl she wasn't wearing the ring than what she had when she was with him. She gets into this posture of just little me talking to big bad Todd. Yeah. I don't know how I feel. I definitely was like, if they're gonna have an open relationship, an open marriage, good for them. I hope y'all talk it through. And then you find out, I didn't realize that he worked 3,000 miles away from her. I saw that in the flashback clip from last season. And then I find out that he's done this before.
I don't know if he still does, though.
And so it's like, why are we married? Are we still married because we've been married 11 years?
That is a great question. I don't know if they've ever talked about that in depth, at least.
I'm sure he wouldn't show it. He's like, don't talk about my sex life. We're not. We're talking about you looking at pictures on a phone.
When she brought that up, he does not look like a happy human being. If whatever was the next disappointed look, he certainly displayed on his face. Because you can, I almost like, you know what I saw, and I'm not trying to be ageist. I was almost like, oh my God, you don't talk to your grandparents about sex. So when she said talking to Whitney about her sex life, did you see his? It was like,
yeah. He was so affronted, like she slapped him in the face.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, I feel like we're talking about. I can't talk about my grandfather about sex.
But one thing we haven't heard from either of them very distinctly, that they have sex. No one has said, what we do is ours. I don't want you to talk about my sex life.
I don't want to know.
But it was very my sex life.
Here's the thing. He's doing himself.
We know we don't sleep together, but just don't embarrass me in the streets.
That's
what it was giving.
No favors to himself at all. I don't know if it's like this whole like analytical smart guy thing that his brain is wired like this. Because you've met those kind of guys. I've met those types of guys where it is so easy for him to knock this out of the park in terms of even if you have to fake it. Mm-hmm. You came off last season as a cold-hearted asshole that was not supporting your wife. It would have been a knockout. Again, not that I want this to be fake. I'm not saying that because we want reality. So this is at least real.
Yeah.
In giving us content to talk about. But hypothetically, let's just say that you wanted your marriage to have a redemption arc. You wanted to like save face, like, okay, I kind of don't care, but I do care that I'm on a national stage. And I don't want like America to think I'm an asshole.
Or I don't want to embarrass my wife.
Or your company, whatever your motive is. I think he has children outside of her. It would have been easy for you to act for the camera, at least. Happy to be there. Like, it's that simple. Like, this is like the bar is so low that I'm almost like dumbfounded in a way. I'm like, you either hate her. I can tell to some extent, like, he doesn't like filming. I think that's quite clear. But for fuck's sake, can you just pretend to have a personality because the only glimpse that you kind of heard is that flashback scene of her driving in the car. He calls her.
Yeah.
But even then, it didn't seem like much. I'm like, okay, that's the bare minimum.
Well, I think she will only tell him the truth when she's not in front of him. She takes on this demeanor, this cowering when she's
like he's her dad.
And it's just like, she is getting better, so I think she is getting that kind of like strength to her.
I agree.
I think that
because she's a bad bitch. She is a boss everywhere else, and you're totally right. You say you're nailing on the head. Like when we at least see her in front of him, she does close herself.
Her body language goes into this small defensive thing, and you can't change people. You
not
cannot.
At that age, at least. Yeah.
No, you can't change anyone. If you want to change, you will change.
Oh, yeah.
Typically, people change because there's a big conflict or someone is unhappy or they're physically in danger or hurt.
People can motivate
you. He is none of those things. To your point, and when we discussed episode 9, we could see him kicking her to the curb and being like, here, I gave you this show. Go on without me.
Yeah, I can.
And I am happy that he's not faking it because
we're seeing
my second time seeing Jared, he is completely faking it, yo-yoing Britani just to stay on the show. I think Todd, and I didn't watch the reunion last year, but I think Todd was probably being fake and saying, oh, I'm going to change who I am. Because if for 10 years he's always talked to her like that, he's not changing for this TV show that he does not respect.
So they've been together now 11 years.
Which surprised me. I thought it would have been longer.
I thought 3.
No, I felt like at least 17. Like maybe he was like a young fox when they first got
regardless,
together.
I think in a long time. So do you think that he was always like this with her?
Yes. I think she probably seeks it out. I think that she feels confident in herself. I also think that she does believe that maybe he completes her. You know, people romanticize that for whatever. You complete me. Get the fuck out of here.
I hate that shit.
That's it. Remember the Sex and City episode? 2 hearts, one thought?
When I meet people that say that, I'm going to paraphrase, but I was listening to a podcast, but they're like, no, your husband, your partner should never be your best friend. But like, I married my best friend. Like, no, they shouldn't.
And then, my better half.
All that shit.
My 2 halves are amazing.
Right.
What you talk? Michelle Obama says that too. You don't give 50%. You give 100. You give 100 because one day you're gonna have 75, and you need them to cover you.
Yes. And while I'm a single person, there's always been something that resonates because it's always like a give and take. Sometimes it's gonna be a little more, less. It's a dynamic that's always changing. But to say like my other half, that implies that you are not whole, and I don't like that.
But I do think that Bronwyn has always approached their relationship in that way, which probably also it's given me another light because when we met the mom, Bronwyn's mom, earlier this season, and she's like, yeah, you're doing well thanks to Todd. Bronwyn is 40. She's been with him 11 years. From having a kid at 18 to being with him at 28. What was she? You didn't respect her for that whole period of time. So now I'm actually like, the mom has been making it seem like Todd improved her entire life, and it's only been like a decade.
Did you see the preview for next week after this episode?
Yes.
She's on it. She says something like he'll leave you for. I can't remember.
And she was like, I hope so.
She said something really shitty. I'm like, fuck. Like poor Bronwyn, because I'm like, this is a perfect example when you watch these types of shows, at least. I want to tell some of these women, and I understand we're seeing snapshots in a whole part of people's lives. So I'm sure there's even more parts that we don't know that could make them an actual shitty person for all we know. Or there's probably things that can make the shitty people look like great people. I don't know.
Yeah.
With that being said, girlfriend could not catch a break. Her mom has always been hot on her. I'm assuming I think her dad was better or something. I can't remember. And then she gets knocked up at a young age. You go through that transformation. You meet this guy who's a dick to her. It's all layered, and that what shapes us into the people that we are. Not to saying, to your point, one has to own all aspects of their life in order to evolve and change, because only we can have the power to do that. But it also should remind people, like, people want to be shitty to her, like Lisa fucking Barlow better or something. I can't remember. And then she gets knocked up at a young age. You go through that transformation. You meet this guy who's a dick to her. It's all layered, and that what shapes us into the people that we are. Not to saying, to your point, one has to own all aspects of their life in order to evolve and change, because only we can have the power to do that. But it also should remind people, like, people want to be shitty to her, like Lisa fucking Barlow. There is so much more to somebody and their trauma and how they and their personalities and what they have evolved into, whether it's good or bad, that in everyday life, like, be very intentional with how you talk to people or how you come at people. And we're going to make mistakes and say shitty things. Yes. She's a prime example of that. Like,
I think she's so hard on herself because she hears her mom
probably
being hard on her forever. I'm sure her mom was probably like, best thing ever happened to me was marrying
I'm sure there's
dad.
that internal like dialogue, that voice in her that lives like, maybe she wants to break away, but then maybe she hears her mom's voice.
Because that's hard. It is hard for you to say, I learned all these things, I want to do something else.
To be comfortable enough in your own skin to break away, despite not only just your powerful husband, but then your mom, who you have this like entwined relationship with, whose voice is in your head, like, to break away from that, that's a whole nother can of worms. That takes a lot of strength and courage to be like, fuck all this, I'm gonna do what I want to do.
It is very ironic in that she is the boldest, loudest dresser.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't.
And her life is the quietest,
Opposite.
meekest.
Well, it kind of makes sense when you really think about it, right? When the psychology of it, it's like, is she subconsciously taking that energy or displaying this aspect of her life that she wishes could come to fruition,
to
like
project bigger,
right? And then you see it in things like fashion, how she may talk to other
what
people,
she wants to be. Wow.
And whether she knows it or not, it could be a subconscious like thing of like, okay, well, I'm subdued in this part of my life, so I'm gonna live fashionably out loud because it's a way that I can project this energy in a way, you know,
I love
like
that.
almost like creative expression.
Yeah.
You know, but I feel really bad.
Like I was repressed, but now I use my husband's money
or I am, and this is my only way of like
my expression.
I feel so bad for her because this whole conversation, he was cold to her yet again, and he's in the wrong.
And she's never shocked though. So to compare this to Lisa and John.
True. She really is.
She will go back and forth and, hey, but that hurt my feelings. Hey, but you undermined me in front of the kid. Hey, but you don't talk over me. But you do this. But she does not. She is used to that. For 11 years, they have spoken to each other like that. That's a really good
point because it tells you all you need to know. Whether it's the first, second, third, fourth. I can tell you what my reaction. Well, I guess I don't know, but you cheat on me, you do all this kind of shit. I'm gonna still be like, oh, I can't believe.
It depends though. If you are in a marriage of convenience. And maybe not even having sex.
Or if it keeps happening, of course, why wouldn't...
Again, are you upset that he is looking at women, or are you upset you didn't talk about it first?
Right. Because her wording of it is very interesting. When you read between the lines...
They do not have sex.
You don't think... Well,
they keep my sex life. Don't discuss my sex...
Would you want to have sex with him?
Not even our sex life. What we do in the bedroom. Don't talk about my sex life.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Was like Grandpa was like, "Oh God, this is you can
because
tell
there's
like
no
boomer
collaboration going on." Maybe.
Yeah.
But are you?
Do you think he's good in bed?
With someone who enjoys being with him, yes.
Do you think he's big?
I would like to not think about it.
I had to go there.
What if he's asexual and he just likes looking at pictures
and like masturbating?
No, just looking at him on planes.
That's weird. I would find that even more disturbing. I'm like, why is that the thing? You could read so many other things. Read a fucking Excel sheet. I bet you do that. Enjoy that. Yeah, I feel bad for her. Girl. I feel bad for her. I want her out of this.
But no, here's the thing. Wait. But we got to overanalyze that. What do you mean by you feel bad for her? Because I don't think that she is surprised by a lot of the stuff. I think she is more so...
I don't either.
I think he's surprised that she has actually built real relationships with these people. Because even when she says, I talked to Whitney, don't talk about my sex life with these
women.
But he says something like unreliable or unsome. But he doesn't even only talk about Whitney. He probably is like, which one's Whitney?
All of them, yeah.
Because I don't think he even cares. So I think he is mostly shocked. Like,
she's talking.
I thought we were doing this as a test, and you really are liking
or
this?
talking to someone that's not him. Which I'm like, well, he doesn't sound like you're talking to. When I say
he's the type that you talk to him, and the whole time he's like this.
Yeah, probably. Or he doesn't care. So he's like,
and he says three, and then he's taking your cherry off your fucking Sunday.
Right. I don't care how much he's into art and all that kind of stuff. Doesn't mean that you are progressive in any type of way. I think he's a real dick. And where I feel bad for her is, even though she's not surprised, well, how I look at it is, I don't think anyone deserves this kind of a life that you don't feel like you're thriving in.
But you have to know that you deserve it.
But I still feel bad.
I think she might be learning that from being around these women.
Right, and then that further validates, if she doesn't know that makes me even more sad for her. So it's like, how do I want to word this? I'll be very basic. We all deserve to live a life that we believe that we're thriving in. Whatever that looks for yourself, whether it's through career, family, both, whatever it is that truly gives you passion and happiness and what fills your cup at the end of the day. We deserve that. And when people don't know their worth, it triggers something in me because it makes me sad. I see it in myself and I'm doing my best, right? So when I see it in other people, and I'm not speaking for her, I don't know her personally, if that is the case for her, that makes me even more heartbroken for her. Because it's like, you seem like a cool chick and you deserve to be with someone. If you want to be with somebody, you deserve to be with someone that empowers you, that challenges you when necessary, but it wants to touch you, wants to kiss you, wants to hold your hand.
If that's what she wants.
If that's what she wants, or to simply hear and have empathy for your stories, whether he's pretending to be interested, even though he might not. It's the want to be like, okay, I don't care about her friends, but I care about her and this means something to her.
So I'm gonna care.
That is more meaningful than, I don't know if I want my partner to be invested in my drama with my friends.
Right. Not too invested.
I want you to be invested in my words and my experience and how it's making me feel. And that makes me sad. So that's where I feel bad for
Yeah.
her. It's like, because she deserves so much more than that. This we all do.
And we never see her sisters. These might be her closest, like, girlfriends. You know, I think she talks to her daughter the way most people just chat with, like, a girlfriend on the phone or text someone. And now she has these girls, and Todd's like, oh, man, everything we knew, everything we were doing is now rock.
To evolve into my prediction with her.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is a ticking time bomb, at least from his point of view of, like, okay, he's going to watch these, be well aware. She says that he doesn't watch them, and she has to tell him. I think he's probably has his finger on the pulse at this point of, like, what the fuck is she saying about me when I'm not around? Especially about, like, if it's opening on my marriage and fucking around.
He probably does.
I think he does, too. And I think whether she initiates it or he does, I think he's more inclined to. I think I wouldn't be surprised, though I could see it being longer. By reunion time, I could see her saying, "So me and Todd have decided to separate." I could hear it in my head.
What about this? One, watch What Happens Live, and at BravoCon, she had the long hair.
Yes,
would you be surprised if at one point she was like, "Well, Todd prefers short hair," and that's why she?
I want a lot of the husbands go to support their. He wasn't there, from my understanding. If he was, I did not hear about it from any, like.
Somebody would have took a picture. Yeah, like, why is Santa here?
I would have saw it somewhere. I feel like with all the creators.
Who brought their grandpa?
And that tells you, like, he couldn't fucking show up for you.
Or she told him, don't come.
Or that. And if he was, and I greatly, well, I'm not apologizing because I'm not assuming that he was or not. I'm just saying I have not seen anything about him being there.
Yeah.
I don't want her with him. Point blank, as a Bronwyn fan, I don't want her with him. And if he wants to fuck around, jerk off, whatever, do it on your own time. Give her a good settlement in the divorce and let her fly. Because I feel like a single, or maybe a not Todd Bronwyn could be iconic.
Own the world. She'd be amazing. So would your head explode if next season she comes back and she's like, Todd and I are open, but he's decided not to record. So you won't see him, but I'm still married. He still provides for my life, provides for my daughter. He's still there for me when I want to talk to him, but he has decided to not be involved with the show.
I can't see him doing that. I don't know him, but he doesn't. There's nothing. When she keeps talking about this whole open arrangement, it's coming up a couple times now that I'm like, have y'all talked about this? Because
more people do it than you think.
Yes,
but I also
he does not seem like the
type.
So it makes me.
If you want to do it.
That's not for me to say. I don't want that for myself. I don't believe it in it for myself. I believe it works for other people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see him, from what we know about him, like him being an open marriage, fucking other girls.
Okay, so he's on the couch in this pink button-down shirt and jeans. She comes in this Gucci gown. I mean, it was couture, but it wasn't like a ball gown, but it was, he lets her be. I could see him being like, this is just another extension of her being herself.
Maybe. God bless. I'd rather her be with a hot guy that loves her and wants to fuck her and kiss her and listen to her stories.
Maybe she'll like have a little fling with Whitney. We saw a clip of them like kissing in some of the future episodes coming up. I think it was more of like a truth or dare type thing.
It could be.
Okay, so we have to talk about Mary and going back to church and her son not going.
Yeah. Well, first on the relationship thing is Lisa
and John.
This is a whole relationship episode.
He changed his hair. He didn't look like that at the club or maybe it was dark in the restaurant.
I'm gonna ask you this after watching that.
Yeah,
I'll just start off with this. What was your takeaway of that conversation?
They go to the
bakery,
first of all,
whatever that was.
He ordered a betrayal scone. I was like,
is that what it's called? She ordered that lemon, and I'm like, I love lemon. I'm like, that looks so good.
Okay, so my takeaway. I thought it was so funny when he was trying to have that deep statement and she's swirling her ice. I don't know if he just stopped talking. I did not walk away from it sympathetic to Lisa.
Neither did I.
I believe that she and John have not been on the same page. And I really, I like a person who advocates for themselves. Mm-hmm. When you say we're not on the same page, you mean I'm not on your page. Mm-hmm. Damn. I did not care for him possibly. We didn't see the video. They said that her son Henry was in the car and she said something to him and then he came back and said, is this what you mean? Mm-hmm. Whether he was trying to correct her or adjust her or whatever, that is very undermining.
Yep.
I don't know what that had to do with this conversation. I think she was kind of like, I'm unhappy. I'm telling you.
It was very it sounded like this whole cut was very tit for tat. The whole thing was like, well, you do that. Well, you do this. You do that. It was kind of, that was that kind of vibe I felt like.
I was surprised because I will say this. I feel like even because it was kind of tit for tat, it showed me that I think she cares more than I would have thought. I think that Lisa's energy is fuck all. I think anything and everything could go away. I haven't seen her with her kids besides the Angie blow up and her Angie's talking about her child's product. Other than that, I feel like she would be perfectly fine if she was by herself. She gives that energy of I don't need anything or anyone or just leave me alone.
I don't know what it is about Lisa Barlow. I know I clearly have a thing with her because I can't stand her. And maybe she's a lovely human being if I was to meet her in person. I'm open to all possibilities. At this point, if she ever heard anything I say about her, I can't imagine her wanting to meet me. But I find nothing about her authentic, other than her piss poor attitude. Her crying, I didn't feel it. I'm sorry. I
think she is emotionally abusive. And I think that he is
probably
quiet, or at least does not react. I think she likes chaos and drama.
And I've always felt this way since season 1. And I just pick up, and not that I'm an expert, I just am a human being, and I listen to how she talks, I listen to her tone, I listen to her body language. Nothing about her screams, I want to talk to Lisa and be emotional with her and vulnerable. I would feel so uncomfortable. I was her friend, and I don't know her husband. It seems like I would say this to give him some sort of grace. He's always been kind of sorry, John Barlow, but a doormat to her. And I'm like, wow, he's speaking up for himself. Let's see, 6 years later, okay.
Doormat, as in she talks to him crazy.
Yeah, and that's kind of been a joke. Like it's almost like, and you can kind of pick that up on this conversation of him, like her always on her phone while he's trying to talk to her. It's like
I thought he was combative I thought it was funny, but so they're never like that.
No, it's like it's like basically she wears the he's pussy whipped. She wears the shoes in this household, which normally I'm all for. I'm like, screw guys, women should run everything. With her, I'm like, I don't care for you because I feel like she is very undermining. I don't feel like she sees value in a lot of her relationships because if they undermine her, and which is kind of what he was saying, it's like, listen, I wasn't trying to tell you what to do. I'm just saying, like, maybe
I was giving the guy's perspective.
Yeah, like giving another perspective, or maybe like, listen, I sometimes say things and my wording or my tone doesn't come out the way that I'm internalizing, and sometimes it takes someone going, you might not know this, that didn't come out very like whatever my objective was. Yeah. It was like he was trying to do that, and she's like, no, and her like she's very dismissive of him.
I think so.
And even in scenes in the past, he does seem very attentive to her, like he is her employee, and that is a relationship ultimately that I get. She's like,
we only discuss business.
Yeah, or like she said, recently I don't think we're on the same page anymore, and he's like, well, yours. Yeah. Your page. And that is exactly what I mean. I'm like,
she doesn't ask him how you're doing.
Right. I'm like,
how was your day? She's like, did you get that done? Did we do this? Like, he's a person.
And she's only emotional because he's kind of defying her, so to speak, on camera. And I'm like, I don't think she's sitting here going heart, but I'm like, oh my God, I feel like she's probably embarrassed, if anything. I'm like, oh fuck.
I don't know if it's either of those. I still think that she's a little bit pathological.
I do. I think she's a narcissist.
I've been friends with people like that, and it's kind of scary because you can tell that they just stir the pot to stir it, and they love to see it. And like, I don't know why I'm flashing to that Batman quote. Like, some people just like to see the world burn. I think if you handed her peace and calm and decent, clear communication, she would not want any part of it. Because she's like, no, but I like to do this, and I like to do what I want, and I like to say what I want, and I like it to be that impact, and there you go. Which I guess is being a narcissist. And I think that even if I can't say because I haven't watched the other episodes. I don't know if he was a doormat as much as he probably is like, it's not worth the conversation because she's going to do what the fuck she wants anyway.
Could be that too.
And now they're talking about it. And it was my second time seeing him. We saw him once before where she was giving orders in the restaurant. Well, she was like, did this get done? Did this get done? Did this get done? And so I can say I didn't see a lot of love there.
Same. And I would argue I've never really seen in seasons where he's talked to her, like when they talk, it seems very transactional. Or like her, like I'm like, is that your husband or your assistant that you're talking to? Because it's like if he has a point of view, it's whatever is pro Lisa. It's never like, well, let me like a real relationship. If you're like talking to your partner and then like, okay, I'm having a fight with my friends and this and this, I would hope my partner would not only have my back, but also try to like see a devil's advocate side of like maybe I'm not communicating in an effective way. that is real partnership, because I don't want yes people around me. He seems like maybe, and I don't know if it's like a Mormon thing. You know, like I don't feel like I don't get like this like boss energy from him either. He seems very like, okay, Lisa. This conversation was definitely different than I feel like we've seen before from at least in my experience.
I was surprised because I felt like he was teasing her, and I was like, I don't think anyone in her life.
You know, I think he was trying, and you know, and that's what I mean, and that's why I almost had more. I had more sympathy for him, because it seemed like he kept like laughing, like he kept saying things to make what I'm assuming was, okay, we're gonna talk about this. I don't want to alienate her feelings. So, and I understand that because I try to bring humor into my like disagreements to make light of it, so someone doesn't think I'm a prick. Didn't work because she was just like, well, this and that, and like I do believe she's on her phone all the time and not paying attention.
I think she's dismissive.
Very.
So she
very Is
she Todd?
Maybe she should be with Todd.
Maybe she's Todd. Okay, so would she be upset if he left her, cheated on her?
Probably not.
I think she would be
to the
upset
camera.
That
she would.
Her schedule and routine might change, but I don't.
I would say she would
say
say
a lot of love there, but I don't think I saw friendship there either. I think I kind of saw like, did y'all hug on the way here? Do you
think? I'm like, do you all have sex? Because I'm like, I don't get that either, and I don't mean like. I would say this. Let me rephrase this. Do y'all make? I hate this term, but I'm gonna go with it. Do you all make love?
I thought you were gonna say make out. I can't see them sitting on the couch even watching TV. I do not see them. I think
spending quality time.
Not even platonic. I think they have a strictly business relationship.
Right. And she seems like a very vindictive person that, okay, we're not going to be together and fuck you. And that's it.
But I can also see her, he left me.
But what? For the camera. I don't think... Which you would think,
and
like,
then she would flip and be like, "I'm getting him for everything." Never mind. I built it myself.
Well, right, because because she doesn't do no wrong.
Yeah,
she does nothing wrong in life. So of course it'd be all him, not her. She has no accountability for any possibility in her fucking marriage.
So what about this? Because I don't even remember why they were going out to eat, but you could tell they don't eat together often. Look, even Todd stole the cherry off of Bronwyn's food. Like, they at least, you could tell that they were she didn't know his order. You could tell. Do you think she's bringing back up that they're not on the same page because of the Meredith news at the yacht, and possibly Meredith finding out that her husband was cheating, and she's like, man, let me check in with my marriage?
Probably. I think it's strategic. Sure, yeah, probably. Everything about her is strategic. Which is kind of, which then I contradict myself in a way, because if that's true, she could have played this. If she wanted to come out on top, I guess, she took a risk. There's two ways you probably could do it. You could defy it. To look what I think is, I'm a badass bitch and I run this show. She might really think that because she has, such a different life than all of them, she probably thinks she really is the star. Newsflash, Heather Gay is really the star, whether you like it or not. She is the narrator of the show. You are not. And I don't think she likes that.
But do you know that if you're recording this back in May 2025?
Yes, because she's been on this trajectory for quite a while. Ever since Monica was on, and you hear all the screenshots, like her, like she has one of the most iconic lines that happened 2 seasons ago. Yes, I 100% do.
So at what point do you go from being not just a friend of Entitled, but a friend of and coming to learn, to then, I know they're filming me, they're probably going to edit it this way, to now I'm strategic? How can you be strategic when you just record and then they do the chopping on the cutting room?
Well, it's all a risk because you don't know, right?
But you say, hey, I bet if I take my husband to lunch, they'll record it.
Well, that's what I mean. I think they are seasoned enough at this point, 6 years doing this. I think it's like, okay, and this is when the show failed. Well, this show is not failing. This is when you fail yourself as a character of the show, let's say. If you do try to manipulate your story, your storylines, do all that kind of shit where it's like, okay, I want to make sure I'm perceived in this way. When you start doing that, because I'll tell you what, while she has a big fandom, at BravoCon, they played a game one night, all the fans in the audience, and it came up, they're like, Lisa, who do you think is the biggest leak on this? It was like, they were celebrating 20 years of Housewives, so you had Housewives from every franchise. And so, like, they're playing a shady game. They all got different questions. And one of Lisa's questions was, who do you think would leak stories? And she's like, certainly not me. And then she goes to the crowd and she says, and I read about it online. I watched it. They said, what do you guys? She's asking the audience, and they all collectively like, you do. So that tells you, I'm sorry, I'm sure 5 people didn't think that. The collective,
wow.
That tells you all
was
you need to know.
Was she being funny, or was she like, fuck off?
Well, no, you could tell in her face, she was like, I got this. They're on my side. Nope. So the risk that you took is failing on you because...
She's delusional in the opposite way.
So, like, when you try to manipulate your own story, like, okay, you don't want to... When you try too hard to come off some sort of way, good, bad, or ugly, it backfires because it's not real and authentic. The other... if you're going to look bad on your own account. Not because you're trying to fake something or try to strive for something. Just be who... It's corny. It works in life. If you're authentically yourself, you have better outcomes that are going to really be meaningful to you rather than faking your own bullshit. Because look at the fan. No, bitch, we think you do. No matter what you think, we know it's you.
So, dang.
I think she's a liar and a leak. She's strategic. And I will say this. So here's my prediction as we talked about her. I shifted and I could see Meredith coming back. Mm-hmm. There was a and I know her and Brittany are going to talk in the next episode, but what I can see now, I'm totally shifting gears here because I gave Lisa a little bit of credit. I think it probably is time. Bye, Lisa. Get off the show.
Would they do a spinoff like Lisa's World?
She ain't that interesting. I don't think she's that interesting. I think it's all like smoke and mirrors, in my opinion. What I can see in this, if Meredith Marks is a smart bitch, which I know she can be, she should be on a trajectory of making up and forming some sort of good relationship with Brittany. Maybe not friends, but good and healthy. I could see Meredith coming back because people love Meredith too.
How does that work though? Are your friends watching the show and they're like, oh wow, you should get close to Brittany? Because they're watching it months after it was recorded. Like, how do you objectively see yourself on TV?
I don't know because I'm not on TV. What I would hope is if in real time, especially now you're after BravoCon, it's all fans. I hope she can read the room enough where she sits on the couch, she watches all these episodes coming up BravoCon. She's like, okay, I probably could extend my reach if I form not a friendship, but like an understanding with Brittany, because this seems like a better bet. Mm-hmm. People think fans, while they might enjoy Lisa, like, okay, she's a leak, she's this, she's that, and I don't really love what she's doing. The show could probably survive without Lisa and continue to thrive if Meredith is back full time. Promote Brittany. They form a nice understanding where they can film together, get some other new blood in there, and call it a day.
Would Lisa come back as a friend every now and then?
Oh, sure. I'll give her that.
And then what incentive does Meredith have to stay on the show because her son has a show?
I think that just makes it even better.
Because I was just thinking, I only met the husband and I met Meredith's daughter. I don't think I realized she had a son until I was watching the clips of BravoCon, and her son is on the... And
he's been on the show a lot too. Like he's been in and out.
So what do you think? Man. Okay. All right, you guys.
Okay.
Thanks for overanalyzing with us.
As with a wild ride.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, you guys.
Okay.
Thanks for overanalyzing with us.
As with a wild ride.
Bye.
Bye. Really annoying.
It is. I thought
which is weird. I've never had anyone vacuum because usually this sounds really good.
Maybe on top of you.
No, not on top of me anymore. Take 3.
Can I come move your vacuum?
Please do. I don't even know who it is. Oh, my vacuum. Yeah, I guess.